One of the crown jewels of NASCAR, the 2025 Coca-Cola 600, delivered one of the best races of the year. Obviously, a lot of storylines to talk about going into this one. One of the foremost things that people were talking about was Kyle Larson attempting to run the double. Obviously, Indianapolis 500 did not go his way. Larson crashed out before the end of the Indianapolis 500, but he rebounded at least temporarily in the Coca-Cola 600. Early on, after the green flag waved, Kyle Larson took the lead and was running really well there for a while, and then Larson spins for the lead. Really challenging track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The bumps in 3 and 4, I think, claimed a few victims. Larson wasn't the only one, but he spun during this, and that kind of mired Larson back in the pack. But we had a lot of good racing throughout this first stage. I thought it was a lot of fun. You had William Byron, who inherited the lead after Larson's spin. And Byron felt like he had the best car on the day. He dominated. He won stages 1, 2, and 3. Right, there's a fourth stage at the Coca-Cola 600 just because of the length of the race. Four equally divided 100 lap stages, but Byron running great. There were some other issues during stage one. We had an Alex Bowman spin, again, kind of a similar deal. He hits the wall off 3 and 4 and then spins through the infield. Broken toe link kind of ends the day for the 48 car. One of the things that really caught my eye during this whole race, AJ Allmendinger in the number 16 car for Colleague Racing ran up front during most of stage one. You had to wonder if he was going to be able to stay up front. And spoiler alert, he does. He gets some massive stage points for that team. Finishes in the top 5 at the end of the race. I mean, just a great day for Colleague Racing. Stage two, again, it was William Byron out front. We did get one caution here. Jimmy Johnson gets up into the wall. The 7-time champ struggled. These cars are just such a handful to drive for people who aren't in them on a weekly basis. Johnson's incident collects Cole Custer in that beautiful Texas A&M car. Obviously, didn't enjoy seeing that car spin through the infield, but Connor Zilish is well involved in that. The rookie, the phenomenal prospect, driving in a one-off appearance for Trackhouse Racing. I'm sure he'll be back at one of the road courses later this year. But this was the end of the day for Jimmy. Custer and Zilish really were able to bounce back at least a little bit, able to continue on with their day. As mentioned, we see William Byron win stage two. We get into stage three, and this is where things kind of start getting a little bit interesting. Denny Hamlin and William Byron had a fantastic battle throughout this stage. Felt like they traded the lead multiple times. I mean, both of these guys were really, really pushing each other to try to capture that lead. Zane Smith did get into the inside wall, big damage. Just kind of got loose off turns 1 and 2. He said that SVG finished him off. I don't know if there was contact or not, but again, I think Zane was losing that car either way, and hard contact with the inside wall. Gets checked out at the infield care center. He was okay. Then we had our biggest incident of the day in stage three was just a big pileup. So Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe, and Ryan Blaney are 3 wide coming off of turns 3 and 4. Suarez kind of drifts up the track. Briscoe's in the middle. He gets into Blaney, bounces off Blaney back down into Suarez. Just kind of one of those racing deals. Suarez gets turned up in front of the pack. Blaney just hammers the outside wall, ends his day. Suarez spins back down the track, collects both Justin Haley and Kyle Larson. And this time the damage to Kyle Larson's car is terminal after he had worked his way back up onto the lead lap. Definitely not the way he wanted his double duty attempt to end. DNFs both the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. You could feel the disappointment after the race. But we'll see if anybody else tries to attempt that again. One of the big storylines here is NASCAR's rule that they put in place that if you miss the start of the race, the Coca-Cola 600, you're going to lose all your playoff points. So I would be surprised if a full-time NASCAR driver competing for the points championships attempts to run the double again. Just really disappointing in my opinion, because I don't see IndyCar and NASCAR necessarily as competitors. I know they compete for some of the same fans sometimes, but they're so different in the way they run, and the fans that watch these events. I don't see it as a competition, and I don't understand why these two series can't work together. And the Indianapolis 500 is set the way it is the way it is, but I don't understand why NASCAR can't be a little more accommodating for points, to try and encourage guys to make the double duty happen. I just think it's a really cool spectacle for fans to see. I'd love to see some IndyCar guys come over, right? Like maybe a Project 91 from Trackhouse entry would be fun for that. Obviously, again, we mentioned it with Jimmy Johnson. It's tough with the way these next gen cars drive and how tough it is for somebody to hop into the seat. And obviously with Indianapolis 500, you get a lot of practice time. I think Jeff Gluck brought up the fact that for the Indianapolis 500 practice, the drivers get more practice for that race through qualifying and everything that goes on than NASCAR drivers get for the whole season. So obviously, if you're going to get somebody part-time into this to run the double duty, it's going to be a challenge to get them up to speed in time. I think you have to have somebody that, is either running part-time in NASCAR already with Indianapolis 500 experience, or you get somebody basically just trained up that's a full-time IndyCar driver. But again, I don't know that we're going to see another double duty attempt anytime soon. But back to the racing on track, stage 3, really, really fun battle between Hamlin and Byron. And because Hamlin and Byron are battling, Carson Hocevar, who is having a fantastic run, gets up into the mix in the 77 Ride the Dente Chevrolet. Love to see that Chili's paint scheme with the with what the pit crew has on. Their fire suits look like jeans. Really, really funny look. But great to see Hocevar with speed. And again, this Hamlin-Byron battle was fantastic. I mean, just great racing. Byron is trying to aero block him the whole time, and Hamlin's having to run different lines to try to make it around that 11 or that 24 car. It kind of highlights one of the issues with this next-gen car, but at the same time, it made for some good racing there up front. Byron able to just disturb the flow of air to Denny Hamlin's number 11 Toyota in the corners. I enjoyed the throwback days where the guy behind the guy chasing the leader could kind of pack air onto the car in front of them and really, affect how they drive. Whereas now it's like the leader kind of has all the advantages when it comes to the air. And that's not to say that in the older days that, getting out front and having clean air didn't make a difference. It does. But I just think that the trailing car used to affect the leading car a little more often. But again, Byron wins stage 3. Then we head into the final stage, and Hocevar and Hamlin are leading this race after getting by William Byron on pit road. But unfortunately for Hocevar, in the final stage, that first restart, the engine expires. So a great run for the 77 team just kind of goes up in smoke. Unfortunately for the 77, it was just right in front of the pack. Obviously, he's in the outside row of the front row, or the outside of the front row. And, when you blow up right there, there's really no way to get out of the way at a high-speed track like Charlotte. A couple other guys got kind of caught up in the incident. Chris Buescher, who had been kind of up and down throughout the day, Ty Gibbs, and then Bubba Wallace got some damage. Really rough day for Bubba Wallace at Charlotte. That team just did not have the speed when they unloaded. He got into the wall early, was kind of mired back in traffic for the entire race, and something broke in the 23 car after the contact following Carson Hocevar's engine expiration and the resulting stack up. Just a tough day for that 23 team, but they have time to rebound. Obviously, long season ahead. We go back green, and it was back to business as usual. Fantastic racing up front with Byron and Hamlin. Byron gets the lead, Hamlin trailing, and they were on each other until green flag pit stops. And, this was one of the biggest stories of the day. Byron and Hamlin battling off pit road. Byron's able to shoot off and really build a lead. Was really impressed with his acceleration, as was the broadcast off of pit road. As Byron kind of jets out to the lead. But with Hamlin, they didn't get that car all the way full of fuel. So later in the race, Hamlin would have to stop again after he inevitably ran out of gas. Just a real shame for this 11 team that was having a great run. Really thought he could have pushed Byron for the lead, and he was closing towards the final stages of this race. I think about 15 to go. I mean, he was within a second. Really looked like we're going to get another battle for the lead. But the good news is Byron, dominating this race and Hamlin falling out didn't mean that this race was over, because another driver came into the picture in the form of Ross Chastain, coming all the way from the back in a backup car. The number one pushes William Byron for the lead, and then with under 5 laps to go, Ross Chastain gets by William Byron as William Byron is dealing with lap traffic, and Ross Chastain holds off William Byron for a massive Coca-Cola 600 team. This Trackhouse squad has struggled this year. They've been putting in a ton of effort to try to find some speed, and it finally pays off. Obviously, you have the incidents for Suarez and for Zilish, but to see Ross Chastain get that win, punch his ticket to the playoff, a lot of raw emotion there for the driver of the number one car, and don't want to discount his teammate either. Shane Van Gisbergen finishes up inside the top 15 on an oval. So great for that Trackhouse team to get some momentum going into the summer months. Obviously, this is a big stretch of races. Fantastic race. It's got a 90%, I think, on the Jeff Gluck's good race poll. I thought this was probably my race of the year. Obviously, that Circuit of the Americas finish was incredible too, and being there in person live for it makes me a little bit biased, but this Coca-Cola 600 was just a fantastic race. A lot of back and forth passes from start to finish. Just think the guys were battling. Obviously, how this track drives is so challenging for drivers, but there were multiple lines, right? Guys could run up against the wall. There were guys running in the middle. There were guys running all the way down on the white line and kind of sliding up in front of people. That's how Ross makes his pass there at the end. Kind of takes it in deep into the corner and then slides up in front of Byron, kind of squeezes him towards the wall. Just a really fun race. But the other piece of it that made this so fun to watch was the Prime broadcast. I don't want to go by without saying how great it was to see Prime. First of all, they did not go to a full commercial break during green flag action. All the commercials were side by side. Loved seeing that. Dale Jr., Steve Letarte, Adam Alexander did a great job up in the broadcast booth. Carl Edwards on the broadcast had a lot of fun down on pit road with Corey LaJoy, and I was cracking up at Edwards because he kept bringing up jiu-jitsu, which, if you don't know, I'm also a jiu-jitsu guy, and it definitely lends itself towards a hyperfixation, and it feels like that's Carl Edwards' hyperfixation since he left NASCAR. But again, this broadcast was just fantastic, and we got tons of post-race coverage, which is something that has been missing from the Fox broadcast. Love to see that. Love to see the driver interviews. I mean, everything about this broadcast felt great, and for Prime to put on this show with what was one of the better races of this year so far, just really excited about the next few races as a NASCAR fan. Really excited to see how this shakes out, but yeah, I mean, that's another great racing weekend. Obviously, if you were on Apollo, you tuned in and saw the Monaco Grand Prix, and Indianapolis 500 live stream that we did. Had a lot of people stop in and say what's up during that. So keep an eye out for more of those watch alongs where, we're kind of watching the race with you. It's a great experience. Obviously, racing fans, we want to grow the sport here in Houston, and we're doing what we can. Let us know anything else you'd like to see from us on Apollo. But for now, stay tuned in to Apollo for your coverage of NASCAR from the Bayou City, and we'll catch you next time.